You have blue eyes, and you've probably been told the story that somewhere around 10,000 years ago, near the shores of the Black Sea, a single person was born with something the world had never seen before. That every blue-eyed person alive today, every single one, descends from that one individual. It's a beautiful story. It's repeated in classrooms, in documentaries, in 1,000 articles, and the strange part is this: it's almost true. But almost is where the real secret hides. Because when scientists went looking for that one ancestor, they didn't just find a person. They found a door, and behind it, a story far older and far stranger than the headline ever promised. This is what your eyes have been keeping from you. Start with a fact that sounds impossible. There is no blue pigment in a blue eye. None. If you could hold a blue iris in your hand and grind it down, you would not find a single molecule of blue. What you would find is an absence, a shortage of something called melanin, the same brown pigment that colors skin and hair. Brown eyes are crowded with it. Blue eyes are nearly empty. And in that emptiness, light does something clever. It scatters, the way sunlight scatters across the sky, and it returns to your eye reading as blue. So blue eyes are not a color that was added. They are a color that was subtracted. Now here's the riddle. For almost all of human history, there were no blue eyes at all. Our ancestors, going back tens of thousands of years, looked out at the world through brown eyes, every last one of them. Brown wasn't just common. Brown was the only option. Melanin protected the eye. It was useful. It was the default the body had settled on across 100,000 years. So how does a trait that removes that protection, that dims a useful pigment, not just appear, but survive, and then spread across a continent, into hundreds of millions of faces? A random dimming of the eye should have vanished in a generation or two, a quiet genetic accident swallowed by the crowd. Instead, it did the opposite. It caught. It multiplied. It walked out of one valley and into the faces of nations. That's the anomaly. Not that blue eyes are rare, but that they exist at all. Something switched off a light that had been burning for 100,000 years, and instead of that darkness disappearing, it spread. To understand why, you have to stop looking at the eye and start reading the DNA. Every cell in your body carries an archive, not a metaphor, a physical record written in a chemical alphabet, copied and handed down through every generation that led to you. And when geneticists learned to read it, blue eyes gave up their secret quickly. The switch is real. On chromosome 15, tucked inside a gene called HER2, there is a tiny change, a single letter flipped. Scientists gave it a code, RS129138832. And what it does is elegant. It doesn't destroy anything. It acts like a dimmer on a neighboring gene, OCA2, the gene that tells the iris how much melanin to make. Turn the dimmer down, and the brown fades toward blue. Turn it off completely and you get albinism. Blue eyes sit in the narrow band between. The pigment turned low, but never out. Then came the finding that launched the legend. When researchers sequenced this stretch of DNA in blue-eyed people from places as far apart as Denmark, Turkey, and Jordan, populations separated by thousands of miles and thousands of years, they found the same stretch of code. Identical. Not similar, the same inherited fingerprint repeated in stranger after stranger. If blue eyes had arisen many times, in many people the DNA around that switch would read differently in each of them. It doesn't, and that near-perfect match points back to a single origin, one founder, one ancestor, whose eyes changed and whose children carried the change forward. That much of the story is true. But here's where the headline gets it wrong and where it gets better. 10,000 years was the best guess of 2008 when this was first announced. Back then, we could only read the DNA of living people. Since then, we've learned to read the dead. We can now pull DNA from bones tens of thousands of years old, and when we go looking for the blue eye switch in ancient skeletons, we find it earlier than anyone expected. We find it in hunter-gatherers scattered across Ice Age Europe. We find it in a man who lived in Spain around 7,000 years ago, dark-skinned and blue-eyed, a combination that erases every easy assumption about how these traits travel together. And the oldest traces of the switch, caught in bones from Italy and the Caucasus, reach back some 13 to 14,000 years. The earliest our archive has caught it so far. So the 10,000-year secret isn't wrong, it's just young. The number in the headline marks the age of a story, not the age of the trait. What 10,000 years really describes is the moment this switch stopped being a rarity and became a wave, spreading through the hunter-gatherers of Europe, carried by migration, and the evidence suggests, pushed along by natural selection for reasons scientists still argue about. One founder lit the match. Deep time did the rest. And there's one more twist the old story left out. Your eye color was never ruled by a single switch alone. One recent study read the DNA of nearly 200,000 people and found that eye color is shaped by dozens of genes working together, more than 100 distinct signals scattered across the genome. The HARC2 switch is the loudest voice in the choir, the one that decides brown against blue, but it sings with others, which is why the rule isn't ironclad, why some people carry the brown version and look out through blue eyes anyway. The switch is a strong hint, not a sentence. Nature deals in probabilities, not prophecies. So what does it mean to carry this? It means that when you look in the mirror, you are not only seeing yourself, you are seeing an address, a place your ancestors passed through, a switch that flipped in one body and rode down through 100 generations to arrive, unbroken, in yours. Your eyes are not a color, they are a record, proof that a specific person lived and survived and had children in a world we can barely imagine. The old story wanted to make this small. One person, 10,000 years, one tidy answer. But the truth is always larger than the myth. Blue eyes are not a fact about a single ancestor. They are a thread pulled taut across the whole of the Ice Age, through hunters who crossed a frozen Europe, through the collision of peoples and the long, slow pressure of survival. Every blue-eyed person alive is a distant cousin to every other. Yes. But you are also something more. A living page in an archive that began writing itself before farming, before writing, before history had a name for you. That's the secret your DNA has been keeping. Not that your eyes are rare, but that they are old, a fragment of the Stone Age, still looking out at the world. So here's what I want to know. What color are your eyes? And where does your family say they come from? Drop it in the comments. Your eye color, your region, your surname if you're brave. Let's see how far this thread stretches, because somewhere in this comment section, you're about to meet a cousin you never knew you had, 10,000 years removed. And if you want to keep tracing the stories hidden in your own blood, subscribe and follow the archive with us.